Hello and welcome to another playbook. Today's playbook is on the best career advice I've ever received, and I was very lucky that I received it very early on in my career. And the advice is very simple: always ask. Now, what does this advice mean? So, very early on in my career, I was quite frustrated one day about the fact that I hadn't been selected for a particular project, and I thought that hey, everyone around knew that I was the best option for taking up that project. So why wasn't I given that project? And a close friend and a colleague pulled me aside and said, "Look, Anshu, the people who work closely with you know that you're good, but it is not their responsibility or the responsibility of the people around you to push for you all the time. There will be times when you'll have really good managers who would look out for you, and in an extremely meritocratic organization, when the time comes, you would always be given the right opportunity to grow, right, and excel. But usually that won't be the case. Even with a good manager looking out for you, people wouldn't necessarily know that you're ready for prime time. People wouldn't necessarily know that you're ready for more responsibility or that you have ambitions of growing. And the only way to solve for that problem is that if you think you are ready for something, and if you think you want more responsibility, and if you think you should be deserving of more, then you have to ask. The only way you would grow is if you ask. If you live in this, make-believe world where things would come to you just because of who you are and how good you are, that's not necessarily true, because there will be a lot of people around you who will be equally good. And your managers and the people you report to won't necessarily know what you want. So always ask. Right? And this advice has helped me immensely over the years. Right? It has meant that I've kept a very close check on the opportunities around me. I've always been very sure to have these conversations with my managers and ensure that they knew that I wanted to do more, and that I wanted to learn more, or I wanted to take up more responsibility. So let's see how this pans out, and what are some of the other things which might not work out. I think the first thing is you have to stretch yourself. If you really want to achieve anything in life, you have to stretch yourself. But you also need to know your limits. The thing is, you only understand your limits when you stretch yourself, so it's a bit of a chicken and egg problem. But don't fall for the trap of over-promising and under-delivering. So be very careful that if you ask for more responsibility, chances are you will be given more responsibility. So if you're given more responsibility, you better than live up to the promise and actually, come out with flying colors. So learn your own limits. Learn to stretch yourself, right? The second one is, it's very critical for people to have career conversations with their managers. And I think very few people do this. In the ecosystem, you'd be in your 20s and your manager will be a few years older than you and might not necessarily have a lot of experience of managing other people. And that happens. I've been through my own share of mixed bag of managers, right? Some incredibly good, some not so experienced at managing other people, right? So the way you do this is that you force the conversation. Every 3 to 6 months, sit down with your manager and figure out, hey, where am I? Am I doing well? I want to do more, right? How do I get there? So it's very critical that you talk about what you want to achieve in the short to medium term, and you also keep a very close eye on what you want to achieve in the long term, and make sure that the organization is providing you those opportunities. So align on how you can create more value for the company or the organization, and also ensure that value is being created for you by the organization. It is a two-way street. Incentives have to be aligned. If you are working incredibly hard and doing great work, then the organization should be rewarding you, and the organization should be looking out for you and making sure that you're being given more opportunities. But you have to ask for it, right? And the last one, if the response of your manager is that, hey, I don't think you're ready for this responsibility, I don't think you're cut out for this. But in your heart, if you know that, hey, this is what you want to do, then the next conversation is, okay, if I'm not ready for this, what would help me in getting ready? What are the gaps that I can cover? And this essentially is the, at its core, what a career conversation is. That if I'm not ready for this jump, then what is it that I need to do, and how much time would it take me to get there, right? And then how can you help me get to that point, right? So essentially, these are some of my thoughts around why ask. And I'd give a recent example, which a friend shared. And this happens at a lot of organizations. So this friend is a product manager in a fairly large organization. He and another product manager at the same level, both equally capable. But when it came time to pick a PM for a new project, his colleague got picked and he didn't. And he spoke to me and said, what do I do in a situation like this? I don't want to sound like one of those people who whines and, goes to my boss and complains about the fact that, hey, why was I not given this project? And I said, wait, the other person got the project, but at any point in the past, have you gone to your manager and have actually asked your manager and have told your manager that you wanted to do more, that you want that the next time a big project comes up, that they should consider you because you want a change of scene or you want to work on something new? And he said, no, I haven't. And I'm like, for all you know, the other person has had this conversation. And so when a new project came, that's the person the manager thought of, because they are the only person in the team who sort of raised their hand and said, I would like a new opportunity and I would like to work on something new and something different. And this is why it's very, very critical to always ask. Always ask for why you can't be promoted right now. Always ask for more responsibility. Always ask if you think you're being underpaid compared to the market. Always ask, because without that, nobody else is going to be looking out for you. So you have to look out for yourself. And I don't want to sound pessimistic. There are great organizations where managers obviously do look out for you. But it's important to tell them that you're also ready to take on more responsibility and that you are ready for the next steps. So I hope this helps. And I hope you've been enjoying this channel. Do subscribe to the channel and see you again in the next playbook. Take care. Bye.